What is up, guys, and welcome to a new Zero Reviews. Today we are going to be reviewing none other than the YGMW Studios Super Saiyan Blue Vegito.
Vegito!
Very excited to open this guy up. I've been waiting a while for this guy to arrive in the mail, and it may be, I don't want to jinx it, but it may be the definitive Super Saiyan Blue Vegito figure. Now, if you're wondering where I picked this guy up, I got him on AliExpress. So if you're curious of getting one for yourself, feel free to check the description below where I'll include the hyperlink to the page I picked it up from. But without further ado, let's bust this guy out of the packaging. Alrighty, so here's everything included in the brown shipper. We have one box, which seems to be all the hand accessories, the alternative faces, as well as the energy effects, and another box, which I'm assuming is just the figure's body. So this is kind of similar to the Beast Deity's way of doing things, where they include two alternate packaging. Of course, they don't have the animal heads, so I guess that's a good thing. Now, I will say this is the 09B version. The difference between this and the 09A is this has a matte finish, whereas the 09A version has a glossy finish. So as we all know, I'm a sucker for matte finishes, and I think the hair on this one looks gorgeous, so I'm very excited to finally have it in hand. So without further ado, I went ahead and already cut the plastic slit here, but sliding it out of the packaging, this is what you're greeted with. So the first layer of the clamshell is all the different hand accessories. There's really no shortage, but we'll go and look at these closer later on. And then the other thing, which I'm most excited for, are the head sculpts and accessories. I mean, this is gorgeous. So we have a few accessories here, the keyblade, the whooshing, I guess, keyblade here, as well as this big energy orb effect, and then the hair sculpts, which I think look gorgeous. And they really gave you a lot. They gave you three. They gave you the normal one, the windswept to the right, and the windswept to the left. And then this little baggie here includes the extra bang pieces. So here is the box that includes the body, concludes a bit or a few of these bullet points here describing what you should expect on the figure. But I'm more concerned with how it looks like in hand. And boom, here it is. And wow, can I say, guys, it looks gorgeous. It comes with some extra pegs, and I believe this is a peg adapter. So that's pretty nice. Now this is on the 3.0 body. Opening this up, I love the way they did this. This is a very cool and unique finish for a Vegito figure. Typically, you're gonna expect the white, vibrant orange, and the dark navy, whereas this one kind of did like a bluish gray finish on the gloves and the shoes, and a more like, I guess, light blue hue to the figure overall, which I think is great given it, you know, is the Super Saiyan Blue transformation. Immediately, this is a very sturdy figure. There's like no loose joints at all. Now, I don't want to say that it's tight. I'm not hearing any squeaking. You do got to break the figure in a little bit, but wow, just like the knees are super smooth, like butter. Let's see. Yep, same thing for the right knee as well. Super, super smooth like butter. As for the torso, a little bit of tightness there. So if you guys do want to apply some shock oil, which I may do, I'd recommend doing it up here to the upper torso. This seems... Oh, okay. So nothing bad. Just popped it out of the joint there. Again, I'd rather the figure come tight than loose, because tight is a very easy fix. Add some shock oil, some silicone oil, and you're good. Now, I don't know if this is a ball joint. It seems to be like a clicking mechanism here for the ab torso, and it's actually pretty strong. That's why I keep popping out the ball joint. But anyways, for the ab torso here, I think, yeah, it clicks. So you have some free movement here, but if you move it forward, it clicks. So we'll take a closer look at the articulation in a moment, but that's just a quick first impression of the body. And then it seems to come with two additional shoulder pieces. So I don't know if these are different from the ones currently on the figure, or these are just, they seem to be the same. Maybe these are just spare parts. I'm not entirely sure. If anyone knows, please feel free to correct me in the comment section down below. If these shoulder pieces are different from these. I don't know if they're a little bit longer. I think they may be a little bit long. I'm not entirely sure. They seem identical to me, if I'm honest with you guys. But regardless, it's nice that they included some extra accessories. I love that. So immediately, I'm very impressed with the sheer amount of accessories that come with this figure, from additional pieces, bangs, ball joints, pegs, peg adapters, extra shoulder pieces, to the array of hairs and hands. So immediately, that in itself is showing me that this figure is worth, you know, the money. And if you guys are wondering, I got this figure for $67 off of AliExpress. So pretty good deal. Probably if you guys scour it a little bit more, you can find a cheaper deal or apply some AliExpress discount promo codes. I would recommend, though, guys, if you're interested, get this sooner rather than later, because Vegito figures are notorious for spiking up in price. And that kind of applies to all fusion characters, but particularly Vegito and Gogeta always shoot up in price. But with that being said, let's pop a head on and take a good overall view of the figure. Alrighty, guys, so here's the figure assembled, or really just with the head on. I will say, guys, just as I was assembling this off camera and organizing the items, I am really impressed with this figure. So as for the body, it's the pretty typical 3.0 Kong body. Nothing crazy there. I do want to do some comparison with some other Kongs, but before I do that, I actually wanted to take also a quick look at the accessories, because it comes with so many. But I'm trying to do this carefully here so they don't all fall everywhere. Here are the faces. So we got this face here, which I love. It's very manga-esque. Looking really, really funny there. Then we have this one here. I'm assuming this is for the windswept, considering that the Watara earrings are kind of flowing to the left. And then I'm assuming, oh, this is just a neutral happy face. And then, of course, one of my favorites, just the neutral badass face. Which, guys, the neck articulation on this figure is actually nuts. But again, we'll look at that in a moment. So many things to look at with this figure. But there it is. As for the other faces, which are on the other heads here, we have one here, which is him smirking, which is, in my opinion, my favorite one. Super badass. And then this other one where he's smirking but off to the side, which honestly also might be another one of my favorites. And man, the windswept hair looks so good. Taking a nice look at that, guys. Look how beautiful it is sculpted. I mean, it looks so natural with the blowing wind effect. And then this one as well, where it's going to the right. Same thing. Just a very natural flow. Even just the individual sculpt lines in there. A lot of, attention paid there to detail. A lot of attention to detail there for sure. As for the hand accessories, there's quite a few, so I'm going to just kind of just leave it in the tray here. We have the typical array of instant transmissions, the karate hands or martial art hands, these chopping hands. This, what seems to be almost like a grabbing hand. I'm not entirely sure what this is. It looks like a trigger finger. So you guys can kind of decide that for yourself, what those are. But that's pretty cool. We have open palm hand here, and then open palm hand here with the energy effect. When he does that, I believe that bind move or something like that, with these little blue orbs on the end. So again, very, very nice. And then here we have some more accessories. We have some open palm hand again. These with a little bit more crease on the finger, and then these with the peg here for the energy effect, which we'll look at in a moment. And then also, because they keep falling everywhere, we have this one here, the thumbs up. And, of course, the funniest one, him on the phone, which I don't even know why they included this, but it seems to be like an iPhone that he's texting on. So that's pretty funny if you want to pose him like that. But yeah, that's just about all the face plates and hand accessories. As for the energy effects, here we have the large orb piece. This is like the one that comes with the official SAR or SH Figure Arts counterpart here. So I'm pretty sure they just literally took the mold off of that. Very, very nice. Very cool. It's like a glossy lightning finish. Then we have the Keyblade here, which is pretty big and it looks pretty awesome. Again, this shiny, glossy, metallic yellow lightning finish. And then the curved Keyblade effect, which is really cool, really unique. And then last but not least, the two alternative windswept hair pieces, which I had shown you guys earlier. So super, super cool. Love that. Alrighty, and here is the man of the hour, the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. So immediate first impressions of the figures, like I had mentioned earlier, Very nice, a little bit tight, but overall, great attention to detail. As you can see, this is on the 3.0 gi. Comparing him here to his Kong Studios counterpart, the gis seem to be almost identical with the exception here of his undershirt. It's a little bit larger here than on the Kong Studio body. As for the faces look super similar. In fact, they may be the same sculpt for the hair. The reason I even say that is because both of these are the OC Toys, or made by OC Toys. This is the OC Toys Boo Saga Vegito, whereas this is the OC Toys Super Saiyan Blue in collaboration with the YGMW Studios. But now you guys can kind of see what I was talking about earlier with the difference in the colorway here, whereas this is a more light blue hue, and this is the typical Vegito body. And then the white is the biggest detail, whereas this is like a clean, pure white for the gloves and shoes, whereas this is a gray finish. Again, keeping up with that matte blue hue finish. Again, since this is the Super Saiyan Blue transformation, I think that's what they were going for. Now, the reason why I brought out Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta here from Demoniacal Fit and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta from SH Figure Arts is so you guys can kind of have an idea of what this blue hair looks like. So this Gogeta is actually the color blue that you also get with the official Super Saiyan Blue counterparts released by SH Figure Arts, particularly the Goku and the Vegeta from the Broly movie. And then this is Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta here, where he has a little bit of a different finish. So as you can see, compared to the two, the YGMW has a little bit of a lighter finish. I do like that it kept consistent with the other releases, that it has, you know, that kind of glossy finish. But as you can see, it's clearly a much lighter blue. So just keep that in mind if you want to pose it with your other Super Saiyan Blues. But I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And then having him side by side with Gogeta, I think he looks really badass. And I actually kind of like that they don't have the same exact color blue, because I want there to be some type of distinguishing factors between the two transformations. So that's pretty cool. Going over the figure itself, nothing too crazy with the articulation. I will note that the head rests a bit high here on the neck. So, and I think they did that because the articulation is absurd. Like, the fact that it can look down that much, and it can't look high too much. Also, it just popped out of the peg there, but it can't look up too much. But regardless, it gives you a lot of articulation there from left to right. As you can see, moves a lot. And it doesn't sit too high where it looks unnatural, but I will forewarn you guys of that. Again, that is a pretty easy fix, I think. If you get a shorter peg, or maybe if you Dremel a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's not that easy of a fix. But just letting you guys know. So that's how it looks. As for the body, like I had said countless times, mainly the upper torso is a little bit tight. The bottom torso is very smooth. The upper torso, particularly this piece right here, when I had first opened it, it's pretty tight. So it has this clicking mechanism there. So when you're not clicking it, it has some movement, but to get it down on the ab crunch, it clicks. So just beware of that. And then the arms are also a little bit stiff. I think that's due to the rubber sleeves, which may be the reason why they included a extra pair here in the box. But regardless, overall, the figure is really, really nice. A lot of good QC here. I'm liking it. No complaints. I mean, the seams here don't look bad. They don't look like they're falling off or anything. So just things I always like to check on third-party figures. But overall, it is a really nice figure. And again, when this locks into place, you just kind of got to put your thumb here and push back up. And there you go. Boom. Very nice. Before moving on, guys, I actually wanted to let you know. So that baggie of extra pegs I had shown you earlier is not just for fun. So these windswept heads actually have a smaller peg hole than the standard straight up here. You can very obviously see that when you compare it there. I was not aware of this. So just a heads up for that. I think the reason being is this is a 2.0 peg, whereas the other one here is a 3.0. So that kind of explains why in the baggie I'd shown you right now, they included this here. So this is another 3.0 peg adapter. So if you pop out that 2.0 and you can put that one in there. So just wanted to show you guys that. So that's pretty cool. So I really like that. And then it also solves the problem of the long neck. So that right there pretty much solves my one gripe with this figure. Because now that you can swap out the pegs like that, the long neck issue has completely gone away. Like, the neck now sits a lot lower and looks a lot nicer. So again, this figure continues to impress me. Alrighty guys, so for my concluding thoughts on this figure, I'm going to give it a very strong 9 out of 10. I was initially going to give it a 7 because of the long neck issue. However, the fact that it thought of really everything, the fact that YGMW Studios thought to include everything from the alternative shoulder pads to the extra, neck and peg pieces, that is going to bump it up 2 points. I'm deducting it 1 point because of the stiff joints. Just, again, I know it's difficult to control that, but that does kind of, play into the quality of the figure, and the stiff joints at times could serve as an issue. And that's really the only thing, although it may be a very minor nitpick, it is the only thing that prevents it from hitting that 10 out of 10 ranking. Overall, I think the price is great. For $70, you're getting so many accessories. It blows the typical Bandai pricing out of the water. Bandai will charge you $70 for a little kid like GT Goku or something like that. Whereas you're getting a very sought-after transformation, Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, with a bunch of super unique accessories. That alone makes this figure worth it. So I definitely recommend picking it up, guys. Feel free to check out my description below if you want to get one for yourself off of AliExpress. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy, subscribe, and peace.